Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with today's daily Magic Arena challenge. Today we have the very challenging challenge of casting 20 creature spells. Oh boy, that's going to be tough to do because, you know, creatures aren't very utilized in Magic the Gathering, right? For this challenge, I think we are going to use the Rhonas' Monument. I think that's the best for doing this challenge because it is the deck that runs the most creatures. I could do a Catcher's Monument as well for this, but I like Rhonas' Monument in the meta at the moment. So you can see this deck is completely cluttered with creatures. In fact, the only non-creature is going to be Rhonas' Monument. The entire rest of the deck is going to be creatures. So this is an Explore deck that also utilizes the combination between the Rhonas' Monument and the Vizier, the Menagerie. One of my favorite combos right now in Standard. Rhonas' Monument reduces the cost of green creature spells by 1, as well as gives a creature +2/+2 every time you cast a creature spell. So it has sort of like an elf ball feel to it, where you just cast a bunch of creatures in one turn and then swing in for lethal. Vizier the Menagerie allows you to cast the creatures off the top of your library, so if they have the cost reduction as well as pumping up a creature, you can see how this can be very lethal very quickly. The rest of the deck is just trying to find the combo, and we're doing this in green through the Explore function. So we have the Ixalli's Diviner, which is actually a very underrated card in Standard at the moment because it does a good job against both Knights as well as mono red, or even red-black vehicles as a chump blocker. When it becomes a 1/4, if you do Explore, it can even block the 3/2 artifacts, or like the Armorcraft Crasher can't attack. I mean, it has to use its exert ability, so it can't block. And that's just kind of a feels bad thing if you have this big 1/4 kind of chump blocker out. And then it does Explore, and we'll get to why exploring is, well, yeah, we'll get to why exploring here in a second, why it's important in this deck. We have the Merfolk Branchwalker, which is the 2/1 version of it. Becomes a 3/2. It's a very aggressive. So we have the defensive and the aggressive 2-drop. Again, these are both trying to just loot, or trying to find the combo, find the Vizier, the Rhonas' Monument as quickly as possible. And there's also some other good synergies with it. It'll find lands off the top of your library. You can throw away stuff in your graveyard that you don't want. And we also are running the Jadelight Ranger as the other Explore card. This is a 3-mana, 2/1, explores twice. And the Explore payoff here is the Wildgrowth Walker. Wildgrowth Walker gets a +1 counter, and you gain 3 life every time a creature explores. So it gains a ton of life. This is your key card versus the aggressive matchups like Wizards or Knights or mono red. Against other mono green decks, I've been able to have a Ghalta, my opponent having like a Ghalta and a Gigantosaurus on board, and the Wildgrowth Walker is outclassing them by that point, which is just crazy how many cards we can cast in this deck. Llanowar Elves is here for the accelerate, by the way. Then we have the Rishkar Renegade as the Peema Renegade. You get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on, or 1 +1 counter on up to 2 creatures. And this is because we are running a +1/+1 matters combination in here, and it's because the Armorcraft Judge, it's our card draw in this deck. So we're going to be able to draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. So all of our cards that have explored and not found a land have a +1/+1 counter, as well as Rishkar can put counters on other creatures. Then for the finisher, we are going to be running a Verdurous Gearhulk. It's a 4/4 trample that distributes 4 counters. This slot I've had a ton of stuff in before. I've had Samut, I've had the Cultivator of Blades. I think I like Verdurous Gearhulk the best. It's being able to distribute the counters the turn it comes into play, also having a trample body back. If you just have to cast this by itself, it's an 8/8. It's a pretty solid card here, and then we're only running 2 of them. Rhonas the Indomitable is the other card, as it can give anything trample. It's also a great target to put Rhonas' Monument on because it has Death Touch, and then Rhonas' Monument gives it trample. And that means it only has to deal 1 damage to blockers, so they can't like chump block with, even if like going against like tokens, they can't just chump block with a bunch of creatures and absorb all the damage. It's going to Death Touch them away, do 1 damage to each of those creatures. And Rhonas, this combo finishes off the match quite a bit. Yep, I think that's it. Just our utility lands here. We're running 2 Memorial to the Unity. I've had 4 in the deck before. I don't like that many lands that come into play tapped. The Void, Zhalfirin Void, is actually extremely good in this deck because a lot of times you have the Vizier or the Menagerie. If you have a land on top, you can play the Void to then scry that land off the top of your library, and then that allows you to then hopefully cast a creature. Now, this is also really good with Explore. So especially on turn number 2, if I go first turn Forest, then second turn Zhalfirin Void, if I'm planning on casting an Explore card, I can guarantee there's a card. Well, it gives me another card. Look at the top of my library to see if I want to leave that on top for my Explore card. So typically I'll put it at the bottom if it's a creature and put it on top if it's a land, so I can just get another land. So again, this deck does a very good job of going through its library. 4 Hashep Oases are a why not card because the paying life isn't that big of a deal, and then by sacrificing give it a +3/+3 is also pretty potent. When late game, that +3/+3 can be the difference. It's just a giant growth on one of your resources, your lands. So 11 Forest is going to round us out. This gives us a total of 21 lands, and that's perfect for a deck like this that curves out of around 3-4 with a bunch of other cost reductions like Rishkar, Rhonas' Monument, and accelerants like Llanowar Elves and Rishkar. All right, so let's get to it. Let's go ahead and play a quick constructed and choose the Monument deck. And you can tell if you look at a bunch of my decks, I've got like 4 or 5 different versions of the Monument to the Menagerie. I've tried it with many, many different cards in that slot. I even tried it with the Honored Hydra. Actually, that's not a bad card in the deck with the synergy with Explore. I'll just show that one sometime. You can explore it and then throw it in the graveyard and then cast it back for really cheap. And then you have just a free card you can cast. Okay, so this is a very risky hand. Our opponent does go first, so I think it's keepable with our opponent going first. Typically, I don't like one-landers, even with a Llanowar Elf, because if they get shocked or killed, then we're kind of stuck. But we can go first turn Llanowar Elves and then hopefully draw a land within the next 2 draws. And if not, hopefully our Ixalli's Diviners find us something. So again, this is a little bit risky going against a red deck with Timberline Gorge or Timber Gorge coming out. But if our opponent doesn't decide to kill the Llanowar Elf, I think at this point we will go, instead of a Wildgrowth Walker, we'll go for a Merfolk Branchwalker, just to try to guarantee those lands. Against red, a bit of a tip too. A lot of times you want to cast the, if you're looking at a hand like this, you don't want to run into a Lightning Strike. So what I like to do is typically cast a, we're going to go Branchwalker here. Hopefully it finds the land we can Llanowar Elf. But I typically like to go Explore card anyway. And then when I have 4 mana, then I'll cast the Wildgrowth Walker and the other Explore card, just so I can guarantee it doesn't die to a Lightning Strike. Wow. Okay, so my opponent could have taken care of the Llanowar Elf and decided not to. And we do get the land, so we are in great shape. So if my opponent would have done the Shiv and Fire, we would have been in trouble. Otherwise, we would have drawn a land the next turn, but we still wouldn't have been able to do anything this turn. All right, so it's a 3-color deck with the Sulphur Falls coming out, Rootbound Crag, Timberline Gorge, and a Llanowar Elf is coming out late for our opponent. You always cast the Rhonas' Monument when you have the opportunity, so we are going to throw it out. And we are also going to put out a Wildgrowth Walker. At this point, if it gets killed, I don't think I care too much, but I think Wildgrowth Walker is the better card to put out this turn. So now we have cost reduction. We have 4 mana. We have the Vizier Menagerie. It's going to be very, very tough for my opponent to beat us. They're on a kind of a janky 4-color deck now. I wonder if they have white in their deck. Llanowar Elves. What are we running up against? To me, it looks like... yeah, again, it's just probably a new player here. Alright, so options. We could go for the Vizier the Menagerie and just really go through our deck. I think I like that play the most. So Vizier the Menagerie coming out. And we'll put on the Wildgrowth Walker. And we can cast the other Wildgrowth Walker off the top. And throw this on a Wildgrowth Walker. We'll be drawing the Memorial next turn. That's fine, though. We'll go ahead and attack in. I'm sure our opponent will block with the Dragon Egg, but damage is not a factor anymore, as I'd rather get in for the 3 damage here. We're going to be getting so much life. We have 3 Explore cards in hand and a Vizier the Menagerie out. Our opponent is only at 2 cards, so pumping up this and attacking in, going in for 6 is not threatening. I don't see any way of giving a double strike or something that would make me feel at unease, but we are gaining 6 life per Explore, and we haven't even got into our good Explore cards yet, the Jadelight Rangers. We can ramp up pretty well next turn, too, just by casting a Diviner and a Rishkar. Our opponent needs to kill this Vizier as fast as possible. You'd be surprised at a lot of these players on Magic Arena. They prioritize Wildgrowth Walkers over both the Vizier, the Menagerie, or the Rhonas Monument. I can't even count how many times that the Wildgrowth Walker has been the card that our opponents... I'm not even going to sack a creature here, so we can take the damage. So we're playing against a dragon deck, huh? And yep, I'm going to take the 2. And again, life isn't an issue. We have plenty of... So we'll cast the Jadelight Ranger off the top here. Again, it's the better. Always cast off the top if you can. Hey, and we get some lands. Rhonas at this point, I don't care about a Rhonas. I'm going to throw it in the graveyard. So here, I think I'm just going to... I do want to land here. Would I rather... No, because we have target. Okay, so I'm going to go the Diviner just so I can draw this land. Oops, I should have put on a Wildgrowth Walker there. So we draw the land. And I could even go another Wildgrowth Walker, which I think I will. So this, I'm going to pump up this Wildgrowth Walker. And then we can go the Void, because I still would rather cast another creature this turn. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to go the Void. So the Oasis. Because we can... The cool little combo with Vizier is I can tap this for a colorless and still cast. Alright, we'll keep this on the library. My opponent also has to block with the Demanding Dragon or they die. And, yep, there's the concession. So we cast just a ton of creatures. We're almost there with our daily already. And we make short work of our opponent. Go on to the next match. So, see what we're up against. Of course, with this deck, I do like red deck. I like facing red decks. This is the deck, by the way, that I went on. I've been mentioned it before with Good Luck, Bad Luck. Went on a 28-1 streak with this. So in 4 leagues, 7-0, 7-0, 7-0, and then 7-1, which is just absolutely crazy. So see if we can 7-0 again with this deck. I wish that Arena would just like keep track of cool statistics. Like in Dota, it keeps track of a lot of statistics. Other games I do. I wish on the decks would show you kind of like your win-loss record with these decks, because I'm sure this one would be quite substantial. All right, that was a keepable hand, by the way. Didn't really explain. Going against life gain, this is typically an easy match if we can get it's just cats, actually. If we can just... All we need to do is stabilize and find our Wildgrowth Walkers. And we have the Vizier in our hand, which is awesome. So here's where I do like it. We go Zhalfirin, so we can set up. And I do want a Rishkar, absolutely want a Rishkar, so we'll keep it on top. And then we can Merfolk Branchwalker and also keep it on top. So it feels like kind of a wasted scry, but it's not. Sacred Cat. So now the Leon and Vanguard can attack in. And you know what? I probably need to chump block here. I know that... No, I don't. I was going to say Rishkar. Rishkar is probably going to be my play next turn just to make sure that I can accelerate. Yeah. We'll put another counter on the Merfolk Branchwalker. And that allows us to give some more blockers. It looks like a pretty new deck as well with the Wily Bandar. Still, Regal Caracal doesn't come out for a turn. We can have to worry about... Ooh, never mind, Oath of Johnny. That's kind of rough, actually. Okay, that makes it easy where the blocks are going to go. Okay, my opponent takes it back. So... I'm going to still say no blockers. I'd rather have these creatures out. Hey, speak of the devil, and the devil comes. There's the Wildgrowth Walker. And... That's a great card, and we'll tap Rishkar and do the Jadelight. Graveyard the Elf, Library of the Ranger. No attackers. We're at a healthy 13. Our opponent is, excuse me, in decent shape. Johnny's Aid does what? I think this is a Planeswalker deck, right? When Johnny's Aid enters the battlefield, you may search your library for library and or graveyard for Johnny Valiant, which puts 2 creatures on up to 1 target creature. It's kind of a weak card in my opinion. Opponent can't really attack in with anything here. Yep, has to pass it away. This we could go for the Vizier of the Menagerie. I think what we're going to do is just Jadelight Ranger again. And definitely want the Armorcraft Judge on top. It's that's gonna make a crazy amount of cards. So we're gonna put the better chump blocker up. As far as we can do Vizier this turn. Yeah, we can do Vizier. I was gonna put Rhonas and be like, okay, you can't attack in now, and we'll just pass the turn. So Rhonas would have been okay. I just, at 19 life, I don't really feel threatened at the moment. Putting a missed a land drop last turn. There, scoop it up, huh? Scooping it up. Now I'm going to play it out. It is over, though. I was going to draw like 7 cards off of it. We just need to find the Rhonas' Monument as well. So, kind of crazy. We're going against weak opponents. I don't think there is an algorithm to... I think it just queues you up with the first opponent possible. Like, they took away your ranking on only this format. The rest of them still use your ranking to kind of queue up against people. So I'm wondering why that is with Quick Construct. If there's definitely not hit rating, because I'd be a lot higher with these type of decks. Okay, so very good hand. We can keep it. We have the Rhonas' Monument and a Rhonas the Indomitable. Armorcraft Judge is kind of weak, but then we draw a Rishkar, so now it's not weak. And no Fatal Push on the Llanowar Elves, which is going to give us the Rhonas' Monument. We're probably going against Knights. We get Kai'Sa Freebooter. Okay, we're not getting our Rhonas' Monument. Lame. So here, I'm going to put the Unity out this turn and Branchwalker out. And that one's okay to keep on our library. Yeah. So the Kai'Sa Freebooter finds the 1 card in our deck it can get, which is hilarious, but next turn we have Rishkar. Yeah, I'll cast a Rishkar next turn, put a counter on both the Llanowar Elves and the Rishkar, and then we can still cast the Merfolk Branchwalker. So that's our play. I'd rather attack in. No, I think I'd rather cast the Merfolk Branchwalker. I'm going to keep this on the library as well. I mean, with the Armorcraft Judge, it's just massive card draw at this point. With Rishkar as well, it's very good. Rishkar getting removed here would be a bit of a issue. That'd force me to cast an Armorcraft next turn. Seal away. Okay, well, card for a card. Now my opponent destroying Rishkar would be pretty good. Like Vrask's contempting it. Then I'd only be drawing a couple cards off the Armorcraft Judge. Like I need to start throwing out the Armorcraft Judge and drawing some cards. I don't want to play a card advantage war with my opponent. Seems to be this is more of a black-white tempo-based strategy rather than like the typical History of Benalia or Knights type. So seal away, I'm sure it's got Doomfall. Okay, Doomfall takes care of it, but we get a hit going for a pretty good. Let's go Rhonas here. We could cast both. So let's see what the Diviner hits first. I'll still library it. Opponent missed a land drop, so now we can be very aggressive from now on. A Rhonas is going to be difficult for my opponent to deal with. Rishkar could get sealed away here. We have another Merfolk Branchwalker. I think just firing off like creatures every turn is fine. It's going to be 3 mana, possibly... Doomfall is kind of bad. Really, really bad now, because we just get rid of the Diviner. Okay, so would I rather pump up and attack? I think that's the better route. Yeah, we're just going to go aggressive here. And put it just needs to be 4, so we'll put it on the Llanowar Elf. Can't even block because it's giving back Rhonas' Monument at that point, which I think my opponent probably should just block there with the Rhonas. And I'm pretty sure my opponent is scooping it up. They did miss 2 land drops in a row and had to fire off Doomfalls against a traditionally deck that Doomfall is extremely weak. My deck doesn't really specifically care about certain cards. I already got our daily, and we're 3-0. So that was the more legitimate deck we've faced so far. Like I said, it's so random with Arena what type of decks you face. I guess it's more fun than playing MTGO on that aspect. That you do face a more of a variety of deck. It can get Arena definitely can get redundant with if you play in the competitive. Oh boy. So this is a very risky hand. Unfortunately, I think I mull it. Because we had all 3 drops there. And Llanowar Elf in 1 land. Whereas, if I would have had another land... If I would have gone second, I would have kept that hand. As well as if I had a 2-drop in hand, I would have kept that. But it was all 3 drops. So it means if I would have... And it's 20 out of 53 at that point. So statistically, we're not going to hit a land. See, this is actually better. Armorcraft Judge on top is fine as well. If we draw into like a Rishkar, we're going to be in great shape. And next turn we go Memorial of Unity and Diviner. Or if our opponent kills the Llanowar Elves, we can just go. Nope, Interfere. Okay, so this is going to be a legit, probably a legit deck with Master Thopterus. So we definitely need to go quick. And we don't really have the most quick hand to do that with. So I really want to dig for a Rishkar. So the Memorial of Unity, let's go ahead and just Diviner first, just to see. Definitely library that. Oh yeah, that's a great one. That hopefully will get us back in it with being able to draw cards. Puts a counter on this card as well, and we'll get a card next turn. Alright, just use your Navigator's Compass so you don't have to keep going through your time clock, dude. I hate that about Arena. It's like, hey, would you like to do this? Would you still like to do this? Would you like to do this? Would you? Next turn, too, we could actually cast a Jadelight Ranger and attack into... for just 2 damage, which I guess is significant. Do have to worry about Metallic Rebuke next turn. Prophetic Prism. Still have to worry about if our opponent drops down an island. No island. Oh, good. Oh, no, they already dropped it down. Huh, Kevin. It's turn 2. Okay, we have the Jadelight Ranger. Find us a Vizier or a Rhonas' Monument would be ideal. Yeah, Rhonas' Monument I'll keep on top because this is... I'll be drawing some... Yes, and I got another card draw off the Memorial. Oh, man. Turn something into another land. Come on, Captain. You can do it. The 4/3 is no joke, too. It's going to... Like, worst case scenario is my opponent puts out a Master Thopterus here. I wonder if no, I can cast both next turn. Rhonas' Monument and Armorcraft. No, I can't. It'd still be 2 off. So I wonder if just Armorcraft is actually the better. Well, my opponent's gaining some more life. We'll do Rhonas' Monument next turn, attack with everything. Now it's a Prophetic Prism, too, that Arena is stalling every turn to see if my opponent wants to... Captain Crunch. Alright, so we'll shoot off this Rhonas' Monument. See if he gets rebuked. It does not. So we are getting in for the 6 damage. If we can get to our attack phase. Yeah, see, this deck is very janky, though, when they don't have specific cards that can get advantage off of the compasses. Like, they need reverse engineers as quickly as possible, Master Thopterus, and then the compass doesn't feel that bad, but I'm actually surprised they use this over Fountain of Renewal. Maybe Fountain of Renewal is just something you're never going to crack. This opponent's gained 7 life so far off of the compasses. The Void's going to be able to scry a card away. The Inventor's Fair can sacrifice to go get the Aethelfux Reservoir. Puts it on the bottom if there's one more artifact out. So if Master Thopterus comes out, there will be still Metallic Rebuke we have to worry about. Just gonna fire off a commit right now, huh? So that's gonna take the turn. Wildgrowth Walker is not... I think we just go Armorcraft Judge, draw 2. Swing in. Yeah, that's fine. So it feels like they need to slow me down with the Rhonas' Monument. It didn't slow me down too much. Well, actually, it's 4 more damage it would have done. And if we do draw a land off of one of these... Vizier, okay. We could have cast. It's another 6. My opponent's down to 13, but they'll go back up to 14. Still no Aethelfux Reservoir, another Void, which is very annoying. Gonna dig deeper. Just don't have enough pressure this game. Rishkar would be a great draw as well. Like, yeah, next turn I think I want to Rishkar, so we go Rhonas' Monument Rishkar. And then we can... Ooh, opponent is getting very ballsy, going to grab a card right now, which is the Aethelfux Reservoir. This gives us an opening. Also takes away a life gain and a land, and it's going to take the turn to cast the Aethelfux Reservoir. So, this is going to allow the Monument with double Wildgrowth Walker, I think. Yeah, well, that's the only thing we can cast. So we are dishing off almost lethal. 12 damage here. And with my opponent having to cast that next turn, it's going to be very tough for them to gain enough life. I think it's over next turn. So just didn't find like the Mass Mythopters to really provide the chump blockers and the artifacts, like just the sheer amount of artifacts to go like reverse engineers plus other cards. Only 2 blue mana to begin with. So Aethervox Reservoir, what? A couple Ornithopters? It doesn't do it. Or maybe I'm wrong. Goes up to 7. Okay, I said a couple. That's why. Oh, I think my opponent's going to have to utilize some of them, though. Well, Vizier's the better. Throw it on the bigger one. Unfortunately, we drew a lot of jank. Or yeah, that land's coming at the worst possible time. No explore cards. I don't think my opponent really has to block a lot. Have this forest that's coming out. Yeah, that's the one game I don't want to see triple Wildgrowth Walkers. And yeah, 2 explore cards that came out earlier. They'd have to lose at least 2 Ornithopters here, though. So I'm still feeling in very good shape. Yeah, very, very good shape here. Down to a 1. With 1 Ornithopter. And 1 Aetherflux Reservoir. So the Paradoxical Outcome won't do a lot. It will just allow 2 spells to be cast, which will be 3 spells total. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 would equal 6. My opponent would be at 7. They can possibly, if they... Is there a spell that bounces all permanents? I don't think so. Like the Barl's Expertise, and lo and behold, there is Barl's Expertise. Just does 3, and the Renegade map will go back up to 4, and then my opponent just dies to lethal here. There we go. Yep. Didn't find a card they could cast. Oh, it was out of cards after that point. All right, we're up to 4 wins. Solid. The decks are getting progressively better. Possibly that's how it pairs you up. Random at first and then tries to find people with similar win records. Maybe-ish. We'll have to wait and... Yeah, I don't think they'll ever tell us exactly how to do it because then it allows for exploits. Very good hand again. Double Llanowar into Rhonas' Monument into Verdurous Gearhulk. Vander's Apprentice, that's a card I have not seen in quite some time. Alright, so I typically like to keep the voids till last. Interesting play next turn. I think I just go Verdurous Gearhulk and make a huge 8/8. I'm going to put that up to a 5/5 and then put this up to a 4/4. Is that better? I have to worry about a braid. Nope, I'll spank it at 8. If it gets abraded, then my Rhonas' Monument doesn't get abraded. Opponent is just going to pass the turn. Alright, another Void. Getting redundant with Elves and Gearhulks. Rishkar is not where we actually want to be, I don't think. I think I can keep it on top. It's fine, because I think we're going to be able to out-aggro our opponent here. So I'm going to throw out an Elf. I just have to worry about a braid. This is such a, like, I could go for a huge swing here. Do I want to put out another elf? No, we don't. So I'm going to play around Chain Whirler and go here, here, here. Submit it like that. And swing in for 12. And opponent missed a land drop. Yeah, this is pretty much over. Even if there's a if there's a Chain Whirler, it doesn't kill anything. And doesn't put enough blockers back for damage. And the GG is called. Alrighty, so let's get another great opening hand. Very awkward hand. Very awkward hand. Opponent does get to go first, though. We are so dead to an aggressive draw. We have a... why it's very awkward is, like, I want to go third turn Rhonas' Monument. And then if we go against like a counterspell deck or an Abrade deck, we're just not doing anything for a couple turns. Now, I'm happy beyond happy it's a white deck. Unless we see a blue land this turn. No. Red-white. That's a little bit rougher on the Abrade. Ooh, there's a Path of Metal. Jeez. I might go with Jadelight Ranger, to be honest, rather than Rhonas' Monument. History Benalia. Oof. Nope, we're going to go Rhonas' Monument. Because that allows us to cast double. Treasure Map. It's kind of a weird card from what my opponent's doing. Going to scry. And I'm going to take 2 here. And we're going to take a ton of damage off the... Ooh, Wildgrowth Walker was an excellent card to draw here. Allows us to go Wildgrowth Walker. And it's just going to be still Jadelight Ranger, though. We're going to graveyard this one since we have one in our hand. And I think I actually am going to... Rhonas is pretty good here. We'll keep Rhonas. So Vigilance... It flips it. What does this do? 2 damage to each opponent. Choose a creature at random that attack this turn, destroy that creature. Opponent decides they're going to lose their 2 History Benalia tokens. Wonder if a Chain Whirler is going to come out here and finish my Wildgrowth Walker. It does not. So we are in decent shape. So here we can go Jadelight Ranger and Rhonas. And I'm pretty sure that my opponent's just going to scoop it up here. Oh, I can't attack in because of this. So possibly not going to scoop it up. And destroys the creature. I'd rather just have a Rishkar out here. Nah, we'll put out Rhonas this turn. And unfortunately, we have to pass it up because of the Path to Metal. So my opponent can start dishing off some damage as well with the Path to Metal. And next turn, we got what, Armorcrafting? Yeah, we're in great shape. Cool deck, though. I didn't even think to use... That's an annoying card. Now I can attack into everything, though. I don't know if that's the best play for my opponent. Rishkar's the right play here. And Armorcraft Judge can just draw us a ton of cards. I think it's just a little superior at the moment to Vizier the Menagerie. Or Vizier, this could give us another draw, though. I'm going to go Vizier, actually. Alright, that's fine. So combat. Attack. Here and here. That is a lot of damage coming through. Don't know why my opponent's blocking. Because it... Yeah, that's weird. Down to 50. I guess just to absorb some damage and gain some life, possibly, but that's a very awkward. So treasure map is going to eat itself and apparently also scoop. As again, I mean, that opponent had a pretty decent little hand there too. There is 6 in a row. I'm telling you, the streaks that I go on with this deck are crazy. I still think of the last 2 days, though, we played a lot when I played the mono black and as well as the blue black. I wonder if both those decks are somehow getting paired up against more tier decks, and for whatever reason, this deck is not. Maybe it is reading. Maybe it does read the cards on this and tries to have a certain sort of power level on cards. But I'm trying to think of what we have. Maybe Godfarrow's Gift itself is bumping up the power level of the deck. But no, but again, with the Money Manager deck I have here, I play against a lot of U-White control Teferi decks, a lot of mono red, a lot of red-black vehicles. So I guess that's, I don't know if my theory is correct against, no. The last leagues I played a lot of mono red. So I think we're just getting kind of paired up against these weaker, more non-tier decks. Just out of coincidence, rather than anything else. All right, so let's see another Llanowar Elf hand. Hey, there it is. Very good hand. We have a first turn Elf into a second turn Memorial to Unity, as well as... You haven't seen me even crack a Memorial to Unity yet. These are really good versus times things just get clogged and I need to dig even deeper. It is the weakest of the lands. Alright, so it's getting Magma Sprayed, so this might change my play this turn. Yeah, because we have an Oasis coming up. What are we playing against? I'm going to go out on a limb and think we might be going up against a damage-based deck with that Magma Spray. Because against control decks, I usually just throw away the Wildgrowth Walker. And there's Wildgrowth Walker, so this just allows me to do Wildgrowth. See if he gets Lightning Striked. It gets abraded, that's fine. Steal a card. Doomfall. Yikes. Gonna get rid of my Vizier. Should get rid of my Vizier. I would not be surprised if Rhonas gets hit. There's so many people, though, the overvalue... Oh, see? They're bad. Bad players are bad. Vizier of the Menagerie, drawing the second one would have been awesome, but we just get Vizier here. I mean, neither one of them survives to Vraska's Contempt, so... if that's what I'm assuming, my opponent's playing some Vraska's Contempt as well. Okay, we are just... Yeah, we're good to go here. That's probably the right play. It's just the Jadelight. Off the top, there's advantage already off the Vizier. We get one land off the top, too. And there's our Rhonas Monument. So, great shape. We'll throw out an elf. And swing for 4. Scarab God's not even that threatening right now because we come in hot next turn with a lot of damage. Well, possibly not. Only come in with the 5. There's the Vraska's Contempt now on the Vizier. We do have the backup Vizier, though. Opponent is used an Abrade. We'll do our backup. Opponent's down to a 10. Did not have a land drop last turn. So look at this. Look at this control hand, too, for Grixis. So no Nicol Bolas. There's their Scarab God, but now it's too late. Yeah, we're going to go crazy here. Fortunately, that's not a card I want to see. This only draws us 2 cards. It's kind of very underwhelming for a... Yikes, that's terrible. Scarab God has to block the Vizier. At that point, I'm... Why? Oh, not the Vizier. Yeah, it's a 5/6. That's why, Kevin. I'm thinking the Vizier would just die. All right, has to block. Has to block that. Yeah, it's over. Opponent can't recast the Scarab God and survive. There we go. Look at that. That was a quick 7-0 with the Monument to the Menagerie. My go-to arena deck, the deck that I've been by far the most successful with. Let's see what our prizes are. We get a 1 mythic. We'll start with the rares. Throne of the God Pharaoh, one of my favorite cards ever printed. Priest of the Awakening Sun, and Combustible Gearhulk, which is funny because I actually need both of these for the top 10 list of cards that I am going to miss post-rotation. That video will be coming out soon. A little other update to the channel is there will be some big channel changes coming shortly to Rogue Deckbuilder. Unfortunately, YouTube, the algorithm, maybe I'm just not appealing to many people anymore. These arena daily decks are not doing very well. So my solution to that is going to be pretty drastic. But I'm going to continue doing these, continue to be running the YouTube channel, but you'll hear about those changes on an upcoming video that's coming out shortly, as well as have the top 10 list cards of cards that I am looking forward to rotate, and also my top 10 list of cards that I'm not looking forward to rotate. I'm going to miss post-rotation. So thanks for watching, and be looking for those videos shortly.